But it's, I think that you have to have a personal brand in order to, if something bad comes up about you, if somebody Googles you, there's going to be other stuff about you already on the internet. People are already going to have maybe an opinion about you. But if you're completely ghost, dark on the internet, and somebody writes a negative story, that negative story, when they Google your name, it's going to land on the top of Google. And that's the most infuriating part, because the New York Times has all this credibility, and because of their status as the New York Times, anything they write with your name on it is probably going to land at the top of Google.
Right.
It wasn't until like I told my story and then Fox News put articles. I mean, now at least there's several articles. Maybe the New York Times article is 6 down from
it's
the
still
top.
up?
But yeah, it's still on the first
wow.
page. When it comes to reputation management, you can't just get something off. You have to push it down with newer articles.
Well, I thought because of the lawsuit, I thought they would have taken it down, but
no.
Crazy.
So we did settle the lawsuit, but basically all I got out of it was that I can tell the story. I'm not going to, I didn't have to pay their legal fees to shut it down. We're just going to shut this down. You're not going to make any money. I'm not going to make any money. But I'm telling you, like, if I would have continued, it would have been 4 more years or who knows how long. And not just the fact that I had to prove they defame me. Think about this. They could say, well, okay, let's just say that they prove that she defamed me. They could say, well, there's no damages because she went on Fox News afterwards. She ruined her own reputation. That's why she can't get any clients, was because, she's obsessed with Taylor Lorenz. They could literally just say, you ruined your own reputation, so we're not going to pay you. And not only that, they're going to go through every text message you've ever written. I don't know what I said to my parents after the New York Times article. I probably unleashed about how I felt about Taylor Lorenz. I just felt like at some point, you got to let it go. Like, I did get my reputation back. I got a lot of people in my corner. Sometimes you have to realize that, I don't know if you're religious or people believe in God.
I'm open.
But there's this prayer that I know now, and it's like, if it's not for me, God, take it away. And it hurts sometimes when it gets taken away, but you have to know that it wasn't for you. Like, God didn't want it for you. And about 2 weeks before the New York Times article came out, I was sitting with Sino McFarlane. He's like a famous therapist in Hollywood, has all these famous clients. And I told him I was in over my head with these TikTokers. A couple of them were like very manipulative and like sociopathic, narcissistic, but very successful. And they were kind of, some of them more, they were kind of driving they were influential to the other creators. But I was kind of like at my wit's end with them, like a parent, And so I said, can I bring them in and you meet with them? So they go in and they meet with him. And the next time that I meet with him for my own session, he's like, I think you need to shut down these houses, like the whole business. I think you need to shut it down. I can't. What do you mean? I'm in like 3 houses deep. I've got leases. And he goes, these people don't respect you. They don't value what you bring to the table. And they're going to kind of suck you dry of your energy. And they're toxic. They're going to destroy you. And he's like, I don't know if you believe in a higher power, but I do believe that if you don't shut this down, it's going to be shut down for you. And not 2 weeks later, New York Times thing happened.
Wow.
So I really think it wasn't for me, and now, and after the whole thing happened, now I have an AI powered digital agency that makes basically clips, better than anybody.
Yeah.
You can't grow on social media without consistent video clips. For plastic surgeons, for small and medium-sized businesses, it's very difficult to produce that level of content on a daily or every other day basis. And so that's what I do now. But I also kind of like in my spare time, I will find cases where I'm like, this is unfair and this person needs somebody to speak up for them. And I will do that on Twitter. I'll do that on my YouTube channel. I have consulted with very wealthy people on legal cases and things like that, on public reputation and perception. But for the most part, I do it kind of like not for fun, but I feel like a duty to do it. Because I also know how to read an article and realize like words that get twisted. So, for example, in the Justin Baldoni case, the New York Times wrote he did something that made Blake Lively feel uncomfortable. Okay, I could say something right now, Sean, and it could make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Does that mean that like you deserve to be, Justin Baldoni deserves to be branded as a sexual predator because he made somebody feel uncomfortable for 30 seconds? You know what I'm saying?
That's what they wanted everyone to believe.
Exactly. But I know these words, right? And they twist things. One of the things that really hurt my feelings in the article was that I had gotten one of my clients a Super Bowl commercial, actually 2. And on that Super Bowl commercial call with Gary Vee was the one that signed them to it or gave them the opportunity. On that call, Gary said to the creator, he said, "You're great in everything. And I'm so excited," telling the creator, "You're great in everything. We're excited to have you part of the Super Bowl commercial. But the reason you're getting this opportunity is because of Ari. And because I get to do a favor for a longtime friend who I adore. And so I just want you to know that we're so excited, but this really is all about Ari and because Ari did this for you." I mean, like, that was so cool of Gary to say that about me, right? Well, this creator turned around, and she's working with UTA. She turned around and was quoted in the article saying, "Ari goes around saying she knows Gary Vee and that he'll help you with your career." And then it's Taylor Lorenz. We reached out to the New York Times, or we reached out to VaynerMedia, and they said that Gary is not affiliated with influences. True statement, right? He's not my business partner. But when they wrote it like that, it made it sound like I was a name dropper liar, and then I roped Gary Vee into it, somebody that I admire and adore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's way worse things in the article, like the nude thing, but that was what like really hurt my heart because, I'm like thinking, I let Gary down. Does he think any part of this is true? But, in the end, the day the article came out, I got a call from another really esteemed mentor of mine who basically ran the television academy and had several Emmys. And he called me. The article comes out. It's terrible. And I'm like, tail tucked under. I'm thinking at this point, it's all my fault. I ruined everything. I don't know what I did, but it's all my fault. He calls me and he's like, "Welcome to the freaking big leagues, Ari." I'm like, "Excuse me, did you read the article?" And he's like, "Yeah, I read it." He's like, "I know it's not true." And I know, but like, and he's like, "Ari, it was just a matter of time. These people, you were sitting on a gold mine. You think they're just going to let you? This means you made it because they don't waste time. The New York Times doesn't waste time on some little peon that doesn't matter in the world. You did something that nobody else had done, and it really triggered these people because they are greedy and they wanted what you had. So are you going to roll over and die, or are you going to stick up for yourself? Are you going to see this through? Because at the end of the day, it's either going to be a great story, documentary, whatever you want to call it, whether you win or lose that lawsuit, your story isn't over." And that was like the trigger where I was like, okay, if this guy believes in me and he knows what I had been like, I was so excited to have made it. He saw the whole story arc. If he says I can make it through, I will. So I talked to him before I came on today, and he's like still somebody that I just admire so much. And it's like, you have to stay with the people that believe in you. When like somebody, even if you did do something wrong, I really believe this, you just stay around the people that know you, that understand that everybody makes mistakes. I have some accountability. I bit off more than I could chew for sure. Maybe I should have just kept Charli D'Amelio and not signed one other person, right? Maybe I shouldn't have signed, maybe I should have let go of those kids or the TikTokers that were manipulative and not respecting me, right?
Yeah.
So there's some accountability there. But for everything else, stand up for yourself. Like that's the thing that Taylor Lorenz and the New York Times didn't anticipate, was that I had nothing to lose and I had the truth on my side.
Truth always wins, right?
I think so. And I think people are sick of these media injustices. It's just completely, it's just not right. I think we're living in a time where every single person is going to get canceled in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at that point now for sure.
Right? Whether it's like you got posted in a Facebook group, "Are we dating the same guy?" Right? And like an ex-girlfriend wrote some lies about you, and now everybody that goes on a date with you thinks that you're a cheater or you've got crabs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a way to fight that too, right? And I think that like all the kind of, I know I'm talking about big picture New York Times and all this stuff, but you can use some of the things some of these tips and tools to get your name back if you're getting smeared, in your workplace, in a dating situation. It's important to stand
Absolutely.
up for yourself.
Very important to know.